What's up, everybody? It's the Texas Cornhole Show.
How's it go? How's it go?
We're back.
Welcome back.
You know, I did want to check and see how long it's been since we actually posted an episode. Let's see if I can do that. Let's go to content. Okay, so it was only 2 months ago. Is that right? May
Still need
22nd.
long, but you know.
May 22nd. So May, June, July. Okay. About 2.5, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. We took a big break. But during that break, we hit a major milestone, something we've been trying to do since we started, a goal that we set from day one. You want to tell everybody what it was, Grant?
Hit 1,000 subscribers.
Boom, baby. 1K. That makes us legit. That means an ad might have run right before this show started.
Yes.
And we would get like 0.000001 pennies.
Yeah.
Based on you watching that ad. Yeah. So on our first week of being a monetized channel, we made $1.24. Let's go, boy.
Hey, it's not nothing.
What did you go buy with your 67 cents?
Somehow I went to the gas station and owed money, but hey, you know, it's still a milestone.
It's a milestone, and it was pretty cool.
Next 10K.
That's the next one. We're going for 10K.
10K. It can happen. I've kind of looked around, seen what's out there. We can get 10K.
Yeah, I think we could, but we have to come up with more regular content, which we have a plan for.
Yes, we have a plan.
Going to get more cornhole content from the great state of Texas. Have other people putting content up on the channel.
Yes.
Like live streams.
So if you want to do an alternative broadcast, you know, for your whatever's going on here in Texas, hey, reach out to us. We'll put it up.
Yep. You
can run your ads. We're not asking to run our ads on it. We're just...
Yeah, we'll even help you. We've got expertise now. I know how to set up a live stream.
Right.
And also, I think really all we ask is live commentary.
Live commentary. There, as long as there's a designated commentator, we're good to go. And then, you know, we have some obvious things when it comes to sponsors, but hey, we'll cork those out.
Yeah. Anybody want to sponsor the channel, reach out.
Well, not only that, but hey, it's Center Cornhole and Big D first when it comes to bags.
That's right. At AJ Sports. Yep. Those are the three big sponsors, and that's what it's going to be. So, I don't know.
Reach out. Let us know.
Yeah.
Hey, you might want to get some of your content out there. So
maybe you're a car dealership. I've seen a car dealership as a big sponsor in this area. All right. So that's our big welcome back. We got 1,000 subscribers, and we should probably say thank you, everybody.
Oh, and thank you.
Because I know a lot of people walked around and picked up their grandma's phones and subscribed, or their kids' phones.
That's pretty entertaining. Yeah. I mean, we haven't been here for the monthly. We haven't been here for the episodes, but we have been grinding out the live stream.
Yes, that's true.
So, I mean, if you ever miss us, just pop in for a live stream.
Yes.
We'll talk to you.
Say hi. Get engaged in the chat. You know, and my kids, they say that all the time. They say, "What's up, chat?" Even though there's no chat. Like saying hi, chat. It's like a cool thing. Along with, what is it? Zibbity dibbity?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either. It's a Gen Alpha thing. All right, cool. So thanks everybody for subscribing. We're at 1,000 subscribers. We also got some personal updates. So we've been out and haven't been doing content as regularly or really playing. I don't think I've barely played at all.
I haven't played a ton.
That's because we got other things going on. We're going to give some updates. You've got the big update, so we'll save that one for last. My update is just me. I traveled a lot this summer, which is kind of a boring update.
Not really. You went to some really cool places. I mean, we did some of the Jon's journey during the live stream, updating people on what you're doing, some of the pictures you were taking in the wildlife.
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest parts of your story, and tell the people the city you were in, the super modern city. Give us a little description of that.
Okay, so that is the oh man, I should have prepped for this. I'm blanking. Doha,
Qatar,
the capital of Qatar, and basically this is a little town that was a fishing and oyster village that discovered oil, and they pretty much built their downtown starting in like 2002, and so everything's brand new and expensive because they have all the money. And it was really nice. Like, it was a bit of a culture change, a significant culture change. Like, the way that things operate over there is very different. One example, whenever you go to a public place, there's two people. Like, let's say, like, I went to museums. I'm a sucker for museums. I will go to museums anytime you want to go. And so my son and I hit up like 4 different museums in one day. And as we approached the counter to buy our tickets, there's a woman and a man. Didn't think anything of it. But then every single place we went to, there's a woman and a man at every single counter. And the men are supposed to go to the men and the women are supposed to go to the women. Like, I'm not supposed to buy my ticket from a woman. But I didn't realize that the first like 3 times I went in there. But that's just one small example of like, the cultural differences. But Doha, Qatar is pretty amazing. And then from there, we went down to Zambia, Africa. I went on a safari. I learned a lot about photography. I took a lot of really cool pictures because I was there with like world-class photographers and they taught me some cool shit. Sorry for cussing. Trying to get better at that. But that trip was amazing. And then I've been working on getting a new pilot certification, basically so I can fly through clouds. And I've been working with Reed Palmer, who's a cornhole player.
You'll see him in the live streams for sure.
Yes, he's good at cornhole. He's actually been on ESPN in the college championships, and he made it to the finals, where a rule violation penalized them significantly. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
His partner went and picked up the bags too soon.
Oh, that's a killer.
They ended up losing by like 2 points.
That's a real big killer.
Brutal. So yeah, me and Reed have been flying my plane all over the place so I can work on this certification. And we went to Chicago and Memphis. I just got back from Seattle because I've been touring colleges with my oldest son. So I've done a ton of traveling. So that's my summer, Grant. Let's talk about your big update.
So I've just been planning stuff and slowly things have been kind of in the back of my mind. I've kept it pretty tight-lipped, told a few people, not many, but over this past week, me and Haley got engaged.
Boom.
I popped the question.
Boom, you popped it. The big question.
Yeah, it was the big question. And yeah, we went out to a place called Treetopia in Broken Bow.
Yeah.
And I blindfolded her, made her walk across this rope bridge. She had no idea what was going on.
Uh-huh.
And then we stopped. I told her to stay there. I set my camera up and, told her to take the blindfold off, pop the question.
All right, cool. And now we're going to cut to that video.
Oh, no. That video is staying on my phone.
Yeah, oh, that's great, dude.
But
congratulations.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And it'll always be a place we kind of look to go back to. So looking forward to it. And yeah, people kind of tell you about things being different and stuff. And hey, now I guess I'm starting to understand those things as time's going on.
Yes, you are. And I mean this as condescending as I can. You're becoming a real adult.
Oh my God. Yeah.
With all of our lovely responsibilities and things. No, but seriously though, I'm super happy for you. I think Haley's great and you guys are a great couple. And I think that you made a good move there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So Grant's engaged. He's off limits now, ladies.
Off limits.
Yeah.
I've been off limits, but same thing. Different, but same.
Different level of off limits.
Sure.
One more level to go.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, we have a lot. So we've had, his trips going on over this past summer, that going on for me. And just, both of us kind of grinding on things in general. But
yeah,
we're looking to get back to the streaming stuff, going over updates and talking about the different leagues and the players involved. I have a ACL contact now that will be popping in every once in a while to give some debriefs on what's going on in the ACL world. And yeah, it's exciting.
I didn't know that. We have an ACL correspondent?
Yeah. Me and Chase Hunter talked while I was out there at ACL Worlds. He used to be the state director for ACL.
Yeah.
And here in the Southwest Conference. And he said he is very open to popping in on the show and talking about some ACL stuff.
That would be fantastic. That would be great because we're both pretty much out of the loop. Like it's funny, before the shows, we're always like, okay, who knows anything about ACL? Like what happened?
Yeah. I mean,
usually it's me.
Right.
But this episode, it's you.
Right. I know some things that happened at Worlds, but I can't tell you everyone that won. And I couldn't tell you where to go look for it. So
yeah, that'd be great to have somebody else handle that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're looking just to bring Texas cornhole content to the show. Like the same plan has always been. And yeah, so looking forward to getting back to it.
All right, cool, man. Speaking of Texas cornhole content, you are affiliated with the Texas Cornhole League. What do we say, Grant? What are you at over there at the Texas Cornhole League?
My new job title is commissioner. So
what?
That's the new job title.
Okay, this is news to me. I'm learning this for the very first time. You're the commissioner of the Texas Cornhole League? You're the commish?
That's the job title. Yep.
Yikes. So I bring all my complaints. Hey, everybody, if you have a complaint about the Texas Cornhole League, send it to this guy.
No, to go through the proper channels. Events at TCL.
Oh, you're the
Cornhole.com is my favorite one to go to.
You're the commish.
So, but
I'm seriously just learning this for the first time. All right, that's a big title.
it is a big title and a lot of responsibility that goes along with it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's a huge update.
Appreciate it. But a lot of major events have happened since our break period.
Yeah.
So the first one we kind of want to jump into is the TCL League Championship that happened out there in Choctaw. You weren't there. I went out there, set up the booths, was there a few days, and got some different sides of stuff. Choctaw is a really cool venue. It's really cool. It's not cool hearing about the people that lost money, but those guys that kind of walk by is like, oh yeah, I had a jackpot last night. Hey, my $10 turned into $10,000. Just things like that. That's awesome to hear people wanting money when they go out there. And you had the pool out there, which is a really fun, cool atmosphere for a day. Then it's like, okay, kind of drink of water. But party atmosphere. Everyone had a lot of fun. Everyone still got a lot of throws in. I think an event like Choctaw definitely builds a lot of camaraderie between all the players and even the directors, a big part of it. So the winners were, I believe, Logan won singles and Logan won doubles as well. And that top division
doubles.
Drew Dixon.
Okay, so Logan swept. I can't. Does that count as a sweep, or do you have to win the blind draw too, or the whatever it is?
I don't know. Sometimes I would count the blind draw. Sometimes I wouldn't. I don't really count the blind draw. It's just a blind draw. But I don't know.
Dude, he was playing really well at the end of the season, both in ACL.
He got real hot in ACL.
And I noticed that. And
real hot.
I'm always looking at mechanics. I'm a mechanical engineer, right? And I like his mechanics, man. If I can copy mechanics, I think I want to copy his, because it's so it's pretty simple. There's no step. It's just a big arm pendulum. He's got a very specific grip every single time. So it does make sense to me, at least, that he would get on a hot streak and win a bunch.
Right.
So we actually, we have a schedule that we're going to go through, right? But just to kind of, while we're talking about Logan, it used to be the JBJ show, but I think we could say at the end of the season, Logan kind of proved himself as
what's funny about it is it's a very similar story as Josh Gross and AJ Sims.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's almost the exact same. Josh Gross was the dominant player early, got a lot of the recognition, got to be Superman of the team. And then Logan and AJ were kind of viewed as Robin on the team. And as time kind of moved on, hey, Robin ended up being the better player.
Yeah.
And as of right now, I'd say Logan's the better player. And obviously, I'd say AJ Sims turned into the better player. You see the success he's having over there with Braden Wilson, too. So, those roles kind of flip. Robin's turned into admin.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It just happens.
That's how it goes. Okay. Well, gambling winners camaraderie. So the TCL end of season tournament was more of like a get together. I remember them calling the top 60 tournament what was it? It was a celebration of friendship and camaraderie, I think was the language, which I liked. It was pretty good. So is that what the end of season championship is?
Well, that's what it kind of was this past season with Top 100 being a part of it. In previous years, TCL had a top 60 to go along with league size. Now it's top 100. A lot of people got the rewards that weekend, got their recognition, gets their jersey and do their stuff. TCL is looking to run that back, same formula for next season. But next season, we're looking at having the top 100 event at a smaller venue, here in the Metroplex, and just be a one-day event rather than a dragged out event. Yeah, with the extra money being involved with things too. So
yeah, the only criticism I heard was people didn't really know how you were gonna figure out top 10 and what the prizes were. But are you saying going into this coming season, it's going to be defined before?
Oh, it's as of right now, you can go on the TCL website and look at the player guide, and it's right there at the bottom.
So everybody knows going into the season how to make top 10 or how to make top 100.
Yes, absolutely. And
what about the rewards? Are those?
And the rewards are defined in there as well. And I will get into the TCL updates at the end of this show or whenever it comes back up again. But yeah, I'll talk about the updates going into next season and how the point structure's kind of changed. Event styles have changed to give the leverage back to those B and C players to win their events, because at the end of the day, TCL is not a pro league, and we want to see those B and C players win their events. It's supposed to be about them. when it comes to TCL. So I'll go through some of those changes. But if anyone wants to see for themselves, they can go on tclcornhole.com. You can click on more info wherever the tab is there. You'll see the player guide. You'll see the rules, and some things have been added to both to just help the league grow. This season for TCL is about growing cornhole as much as they can.
Well, that's great. I mean, I guess you're the commish, so I guess I should congratulate you, because that was one of the biggest criticisms I had for TCL.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, seriously, I was like, I can't believe you guys don't communicate how you become top 10 or top 100. You just dropped it on players at the end of the season. So the fact that you've made those improvements, I have to give you. I'm assuming that you're the one that made.
I mean, I'm not going to take credit for any of it. I think that Chad and Jason had it right from the beginning, but the responsibilities became too much and things started getting left behind, and things weren't getting documented the way they should have to be able to rinse and repeat going into the next season. So now that we're cleaning some of that stuff up, we're getting back to our bread and butter and what TCL is all about. And now that that's happening, on top of it, feels like a culture change over the last few Signature Series. I got many comments over this past year how the Signature Series felt less drunk, which is a good thing. You still want to be a party atmosphere. This is a backyard game. This is cornhole, but it doesn't need to get it just doesn't need to get out of hands where we're having people getting kicked out of the venue or having fights break out. We don't want any of that stuff. And feels like we've gotten away from it. Feels like things have improved culture-wise. So I'm excited for this upcoming season. And, hey, at some point, someone's going to say something to me, and I'm going to be really stressed out. So don't take offense to whatever I have to say.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's definitely one of the criticisms I've given TCL as far as being drunk and loud. But that's interesting that it's changing. That's great, I think. All right, cool. So, Player of the Year?
Player of the Year, Chase Lester, our boy.
Yeah, we should just talk about Chase a little bit.
Cheat code. It was he managed to pull it out, Player of the Year. So he's the top point standings. His Signature Series win in doubles. Cale Harrell had to do a lot with that. He made some really good singles runs. He didn't get a singles win, but he had a lot of good runs.
Yeah, that's something that Juan and I were talking about when we were playing each other earlier. Is Chase Lester going to win a singles TCL event this year?
Man, it's hard.
And so for those who don't know, Chase Lester is an ACL pro.
He did. He just became an ACL pro. And, that I think Ty, Chase, and Oscar are all three going to take a step back.
What do you mean by taking?
I think they're going to have a step back in their cornhole game, and then they're going to take their steps forward. Zach Harris would be my example in this. You could become pro, or if you become a sponsored player, or you become a bag ambassador, you just feel that extra weight on yourself when you go to your first few events, and that pressure is there. It's all in your mind, but the pressure is there. Usually players will take a little bit of a step back, and then they'll take 2 steps forward and kind of own the moment. So, or at least that's what makes the good players great, is being able to own those moments. So, Chase, I think he's going to go out there. He hasn't. They all have to sign a contract, so no one's officially a pro yet. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what those guys do as pros.
Did you hear any rumors? Because there was a rumor before that the ACL pros were not going to be able to play in TCL events without breaching their contract.
That verbiage has been in the ACL contracts for years, but ACL has not enforced this in the contract because there is no ACL in the area for those players to go play in anyway. So they're not going to tell these guys, hey, don't play cornhole. They've let TCL they've let those players playing TCL and do their stuff as long as they're taking care of their ACL stuff as well.
What they could do is, I've read that contract 4 years ago, and it was incredibly one-sided.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy, the things you were literally giving up, trademark, copyright rights, pretty much everything you had.
Yes.
But then it's a choice on their part of if they're going to enforce it.
Right.
And I could imagine them saying, yeah, you can play in TCL events, but not the big ones. They have to have less than so many players, or not the Signature Series events. Just be specific about it. You can't be sponsoring or promoting non-ACL stamp bags, because that's a big thing with player sponsorships, right? So they can start wiggling their way in.
And rumor has it that an ACL, one of the pro players did get told that during the season.
Really?
Yes. I don't want to go into the details of it because I know for fact, but I heard that someone said, hey, you can't have that on your Facebook page.
And yeah, so let's go ahead and we're going a little bit out of order, but let's go ahead and talk about, we've got, Texas players that we know made it that are new, right? Oscar, Ty, and Chase. Oscar Moreno.
Clayton Ely also qualified. I don't know if he's going to take it or not. And none of these guys have signed the contract yet.
Yeah, but they're all part of your crew, really. They're all...
Oscar, Chase, and Ty, part of Center Cornhole. Center so far has had a good track record of producing high-end players. I'm not going... Even producing is a little much, but the high-end players being on the team and having success, a lot of that probably has to do with throwing against each other, picking each other's brains, and honestly, just poking at each other more than anything, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, you couldn't win a little bit more. I was calling Levi Haddock. He did the best out of any of us, all ACL worlds. I'm sitting here calling him Silver Edition because he only got second place the whole time. And Levi has a choice. Hey, do I take that personally and get better from it, or do I take that personally and F these guys? He tends to take it personally and goes and does something with it.
And while we're on the topic of Levi, he really didn't have an option to make pro. He had one slim chance to make pro, but ACL pro, but he didn't make it there.
Right.
But if I would have bet that he could have ran that gauntlet and become an ACL pro.
Oh yeah.
Levi had.
Oh, I think him and I both. I think we would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
Terry Sweeney was one game away.
Yeah. Kevin
Meza, he was 5-0 and he was 1 game away, 2 games away.
5-0. Then he had to play Gary Bearpaw, and Kevin threw like an 11.4 and lost.
Yes. No. Bearpaw threw an 11.4. Kevin threw a 10.7 and lost.
And
6.
I swear. Comment down below if I'm wrong, but I think Kevin threw better than an 11 and lost.
No. I saw the numbers.
All right,
but
I guess I'm wrong.
And that I think Kevin was mentally struggling with that matchup because and Kevin said before he even went into the game, he plays the same exact style Gary Bearpaw does, but in his head, Gary Bearpaw's better at it. And I think that was in his head.
Well, Gary has always been doing that.
He has. It's hard to be like, I'm going to beat Gary Bearpaw sliding. It's hard to say that.
Now, so just as we're talking about Gary Bearpaw, and he's from the region.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma.
We don't see him in TCL events, but I see him in ACO events all the time. And he has a rollback now. He can hit it on command. It's a funky one. It's a nose down one, but it rolls.
Yeah.
So he's got it now. So he's not just a slide airmail player, but that's what he starts with. He doesn't roll unless he has to. You only see it every once in a while.
Right.
So yeah, lots of people from Texas qualify to be an ACO pro if they want to be one, and we'll just have to wait and see. And then I'm really curious to see how ACL messes with players playing in TCL, right?
If they do it all.
I
mean, we can go into... Do you want to go ahead and go into ACL Worlds in general?
Yeah, let's skip to ACO Worlds, and then I'll cover ACO Worlds at the end.
Okay.
So, for ACO Worlds, our notes were who made it out of Texas, but you already mentioned all of them.
Right.
And then the one after that was the pros not coming back.
So...
And bad companies not coming back.
Right.
And in general, ACL shrinking
the pro field,
the pro player field. And why? Why are they shrinking the pro player?
Let me give you my spill after talking to several of those players and kind of get some different experiences.
I only have guesses and conjecture, which I love.
Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of it, mine's just, I got a little bit of a backstory to go along with it, I guess, to form my opinion. But,
all right,
so apparently ACL this year, they did their run. Okay, everyone that made pro. They're not going to backfill anyone that declines to be a pro. So this is their first step to shrink that pro field. Their goal is to hit only 100 pros. So they were at 250. So to cut more than half the field when it comes to the pro players, a couple of reasons behind this.
Yes. Why?
Is that they just don't have the money. There's not enough money to support 250 pros.
So, yeah, okay. So
there's not enough money because if you shrink that pro field and to, again, only 100 pros, then you can almost guarantee that those 100 pros will be sponsored.
Yeah.
They will get their flights taken care of. They will get their hotel taken care of. They will get their entry fees taken care of. I think there's a $1,300 upfront cost to be an ACL pro as well. something along those lines. That will get taken care of by these. And there's going to got to be less bag manufacturers because right now everything's really watered down and spread out. Instead, hey, you give to Steve, let's just say a number like 5, give the top 5 bag manufacturers all the money and let them sponsor the top 100 players. That's 20 players a piece. And hey, everyone's taken care of and happy rather than having a field of 250 players where over 50% of the field's not getting any sponsorship money or not getting enough to really cover things. They're not doing things to justify not having a full-time job.
So you think the ACL made this decision so that players can have a better quality of life as a cornhole pro, or so that they could actually be?
Oh, I also think it's less of a headache for them in general. If only 10% of the field is on TV anyway, 20% of the field's on TV anyway, why do we need 250 players? If I can get a smaller venue with 100 players, I don't have to have they're probably going to keep doing 16 opens, which is, crazy itself. But, for nationals, they can go to smaller venues and just have the TV broadcast there. Because as of right now, they're running that broadcast a week after at a separate, smaller venue.
Yeah, and, I always think my worldview is that these decisions are always made based on money. So they're thinking they can make more money at the end of the day with less players. And
I think that they're removing the this might not translate to more money. I don't think the money is affected for ACL at all. I think no matter what, the same amount of bags are going to be sold within a year. I think that the players are going to start being taken care of 1 through 100. That way, when those little spreadsheets come out saying, hey, this is how much the pros are making, they look better. Those players think that, hey, I can make a real living going and being an ACL pro. There's only 2 players per state. And that's how they're going to handle things. So instead of trying to take care of 250 people and getting 100 emails from 100 of them, hey, I can't even afford to do this anymore. The Jeremiah Ellises of the world.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that, the season 18 King of Cornhole, the last season's MVP, and he was the Rookie of the Year, and a guy who was white hot on social media, and it had that period of time where nobody was beating him.
He checked every box.
Yeah,
he checked every box.
He did everything. And then he's on social media saying, I don't think I can do this anymore just because the money's not there. I have to have my job.
Right. And even, well, the thing is, let's say he's making the same exact amount of dollars as he is for his job. The difference is, being an ACL pro, you're signing a 1-year deal every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultra gave him a 2-year contract, but you're still signing a 1-year deal. What if I don't go win my events next season?
Right.
What if the next player's red hot? Do I turn down all the benefits of me and my job? And everyone knows, or most people know who have him on social media, he's a UPS driver, and hey, you're getting your benefits from your job, you're getting your paycheck, you're taking care of your 3 kids, you're taking care of your wife. Are you going to drop all of that to go chase your dream of being on TV again? You've already been on TV. You've already had success on TV. You've already had the highest title available as a cornhole player. Now you got to protect. Now you got to, yes, protect, but provide for your family. And that's the decision that he's being presented with.
And, I mentioned it before on the show, like, how hard is it to be a UPS driver? That's like labor. Like, you're humping bags, or not bags, but big boxes from your truck to the door. Like, that's hard work.
It is hard work.
And then you got to travel on the weekends and throw in these tournaments, and he's going to leagues, in the evening. So I just don't know how he can maintain that lifestyle. Like, it's not just the money.
If he loves it, it doesn't matter. But now it's his job. His job is making him make a decision. It's from the sounds of it.
I would think the travel would just, ugh. Yeah, so
if you love it, you'll do it.
But that just kind of shows that there has been a little bit of the word's not exodus, because not that many players have left. But a lot of players who were pro have decided to not be a pro anymore because, the money's not there, the stress and the financial burden, because you're not making money. You're having fun. You're enjoying it. You're getting your moment of fame. And is it worth it? And I think a lot of people are learning that it's not really worth it.
I mean, and it's not worth it once you've already achieved it. Hey, if you've hit your goals for all of it, you've hit your goals for all of it. Are you just running it back and trying to hit your goals again? There's a reason why you're seeing mostly young people at the pro level at this point. It's because they don't have all the bills.
Yeah, exactly. It's the kids that don't have a family or real. I mean, it sounds mean, but real responsibilities. And for the guys who don't, go for it, man. I wish I was still 18 to 22 and had no responsibility.
I wish I was born a couple years. I mean, not really. I'm happy with where I'm at. But hey, if I was born a couple years later and I was, 19 years old going to be a pro instead of being 22, things could have been a lot different.
Right. And it's interesting because we have the three major leagues. You got the TCL, ACL, and ACO, and they have different ideas about all this. Right. But the ACL wants pros. They want people that are making a living
playing cornhole, and they can broadcast it on ESPN and present themselves as the MLB.
And that's probably why they're trimming down the field, right?
They got to cut the fat if they're gonna do it. You can't have the conversation be, hey, you're 150 pros out there are not getting anything. It's costing them money to be a pro.
Yeah, and that's what I think the answer is too. That's why they're culling the field. And even though it's kind of counterintuitive, you think they make more money with more players, but no, they're going to try to get a higher quality product onto ESPN.
They're going to cut down on players. They're going to cut down on bag manufacturers. They're going to trim the fat. And that's ultimately what it is. There's only so many people you can support and get things done for. And hey, we all want the conversation to be about how everyone's doing great, not about how half the field is struggling. And if that means cutting bait and dealing with the storm for the next 2 years, that's what you got to do. But after those 2 years, the conversation will change.
Yeah. And then we saw Buffalo Bags, 724, some other bag companies, they left. Both of them said, you guys are great, but we're leaving. Which again, I think is just because the money wasn't there.
And all of them have their individual reasons. You hear the rumors.
The reasons the reasons they give. But then there's like, if you were making a bunch of money, you wouldn't leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
We call those illusory.
So,
reasons.
And kind of, I guess, to keep on with the same conversation, we talk about bag makers dropping out, pros not coming back, sponsoring players in general. Dude, there's some of these numbers I'm hearing getting thrown out?
Oh, are we talking ACL?
ACL.
I mean, I've heard 6 figures, which I bet I'll never believe it.
I don't think players are getting 6 figures anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's players out there that are asking for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000,
like cash up front.
Or like apparently AAR Cornhole is throwing out money like that. Apparently, some of these other companies are throwing out $40,000, $50,000 to sponsor these guys. That's a lot of money.
Go get it, guys.
And how many of those guys can you support? That's a whole nother topic.
Well, that's the other thing, like promises made versus promises kept.
This is the first year I've ever heard about BG Cornhole not taking everybody that wants to walk through the door.
Oh, yeah?
This is the first year I've ever heard them, I didn't hear directly from them, hearing from other players that they might not re-sign somebody or they might not let that next person on because everybody's walking in and says, oh, I want $20,000, $30,000. That money don't grow on trees, man. And you know how many bags you got to sell? What are you adding to justify, let's just say it's $20,000 and we think that they make what, $60 a set? Let's just make $50 a set to do the math.
Sure. It's a lot of sets.
Hey, are you selling 400 sets of bags?
Yeah,
it's a brand selling 400 sets of bags.
And they have the coupon codes, right? Like you give people like ways that you track it. It's very hard to track how many bags players sell or whatever.
Right.
I'm a bag maker. Big D still exists. Although I'm going through some transformations at the moment. We'll give a Big D update.
You're like a butterfly. You're a cocoon right now.
I'm a metamorphosis is on the way. I don't want to sponsor players. I don't mind saying that on the show. So I'm an ACO, and what I'm seeing right now is a lot of players and a lot of bag companies are announcing like who they're going to be with throughout the year. And I'm laying low. I'm not doing anything. I'm just watching all of these announcements. And there's one company that's picked up like 20, 30 players, all really good players. And I'm sure they're, giving them something. And that's really expensive. And I have the experience of, thanks to you and Levi and Chase and all the other guys, won majors with Big D. Like the Texan and the Great have both won majors. I don't sell those bags.
Yeah.
Like they don't sell.
Yeah. And, actually Jordan Stevenson had the same thing happen with me with Bag Daddies or with Devin Harbaugh. Devin Harbaugh won on TV with Bag Daddies and his sales increased 0.
Yeah. I was thinking, oh, cool. I'm going to sell a bunch of these Texan bags. I better order some new material, get some new colors and stuff. And they just kind of sat around like it. The point is, I think you have to go one end of the spectrum. Either, sponsor everybody. And when you go to an event, your bags are going to be thrown in the finals or, at the semifinals at the least, right? You've got a big crew of really good players all throwing your bags, or don't bother, right? Because like the sponsored a few people just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But the other thing is, the big point, the thing I learned from last season is there's not a big ROI on the high level players. I think as far as Big D goes, I've received a lot of messages. A lot of people want to represent the brand. I certainly appreciate that. But financially, it's not a very good decision.
It's almost like you get more people wanting to reach out and support the brand than you do want to go buy the bags.
This is a fact.
And that's, and me and you are similar in this way. We don't want to say no. We don't. We want to support as many people as we can, however we can. But sometimes it just has to make sense in the spreadsheet. And as of right now, for either of us, it doesn't make sense.
No, I'm looking for more brand ambassadors.
But even the brand ambassador is going to come around at some point in time. Hey, what can you do for me?
Yeah. Are you active on social media?
Hey, guys,
content.
I know you want free apparel, but you understand that, hey, that free apparel, I give you 5 shirts. That just cost me $100. Did you sell in TCL? Did you sell 2 or 3 sets of bags this month?
Yeah. So, I mean, and I can't imagine when you've got these like $50,000 price tags as an ACL bag maker, like, are they moving that many bags? And AAR, I thought for the longest time, they weren't making their own bags.
And then they started, it became their own company because they were sponsoring people anyways. And, the one thing that I've learned about sponsorships is half of it is not about it financially making sense. Sometimes those guys with those big pockets just want to say that, hey, they're throwing my bags. Look at that. Look at the owner of AAR this past that Worlds and the way he was chirping with Zach Faulkner when Alex Rawls and Sammy Soto were playing.
I wasn't there.
The owner of AAR is a nobody in cornhole other than a guy with a wallet that's sponsoring some guys. And the only way that he can act like a fool, the only way he can say the words he's saying is because he's sponsoring the good player, not because he is the good player.
Yeah. No, one of the reasons people become bag makers is the social status.
Yes.
Like that's why I think a lot of people basically break even being a bag maker or lose money, and it's just for social status. So yeah, go ask those guys for sponsorships.
And hey, I mean, I've had the conversation with a few guys now. I do more for my players than I do for myself when it comes to center cornhole. And at some point, we gotta look at effort levels here. It's not easy running a bag company.
Yeah. Well, on that note, be on the lookout for Big D in the near future with some changes. Changes on the way. I've lost I'm back. I lost our list of things to talk about.
So we talked about sponsorships and some different things. So let's just go back into ACL Worlds as a whole, the event.
Yeah.
The atmosphere, really good atmosphere. They changed the layout. Less live feed courts. They did not put advanced singles on the live feed this year. They only did doubles. No. They didn't put doubles on the live feed. They only did singles.
Huh.
Weird. Especially with the live feeds kind of just being there. It sounded like to me that they were telling the broadcast people, hey, during our broadcast, our ESPN broadcast, you cannot have another broadcast going on in here for those guys. We want everybody watching ESPN.
Oh, dude, it's hard. By the way, like, is it on YouTube or is it on ESPN Plus?
Oh, I got told a couple times, like during my team's event, I was on ESPN Plus. And
yeah.
Why? Well, how am I just on ESPN Plus?
Dude, I never saw you on ESPN Plus. You were on ESPN Plus.
Apparently.
Let's go.
I won all my games to Levi. But
it's a tough team, you and Levi.
But yeah, so I got to king seed of my bracket in singles, lost, got double dipped, lost our last game, 21-20. Boo. But Jackson Remick, he threw gas. He beat up on me. Chase, I think, got double dipped in his. I think the only guy of ours that didn't win that won their bracket was Levi Haddock. He won his bracket, beat one other bracket winner, and then lost his next game. So he had a lot of success this past weekend, or at ACL Worlds. The trip was overall pretty fun. So let's talk about some of the, I guess, headlines coming out of the event. We don't know all the event winners. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a place you can find that, I'm sure.
Probably not the app.
Trey Birchfield.
He was
the headline of the event. He swept it.
Oh, yeah. So I guess he won them all.
He swept it,
Okay.
which gave him more titles than anyone else in ACL league history.
ACL titles.
Correct.
Let's be clear.
He won more. He has now the most ACL titles in ACL league history.
Now,
Like 23.
I saw this. He took the mic and he said, I'm the GOAT. He said, how can anybody argue that I'm not the GOAT? I'm the GOAT. He did that. He said that.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that was a very GOAT thing to do.
No,
I think that
it's a very 17-year-old, 18-year-old thing to do.
I don't think you get to self-declare GOAT status.
Well, I will say leading into this, other people were talking about it and talking about how if he won, he'd be the GOAT because he'd have the most titles and this, and that. That conversation was happening before he won singles. Now, this is the question, and I didn't like the whole declaring yourself as the GOAT, dude. Just let other people talk about that. There's some things you let other people say, but as a cornhole fan, let's stay away from ACL here. As a cornhole fan, you think that having success over a 2-season period should make you the GOAT?
No, I mean, look, I don't think he's the GOAT.
Obviously, Matt Guy.
I mean, because Matt Guy has so many titles. Like, how are you going to put your record up against Matt Guy's? Because you've won more in the last 2 years.
We're talking about only being the ACL GOAT here.
Also, but just being the ACL GOAT. Okay, so you're not the cornhole GOAT. You're just the ACL GOAT,
right?
And he's won more titles. But he wasn't like, where was he all season?
Oh, he needed to have some success, and I guess that was the point I was trying to make. There's no longevity in what he's doing. Yeah, you're winning all these events over really the last 2 years, maybe 3, but some of these guys have been doing it for 8 years, just having success over a long period of time, and not, especially considering how the amount of ACL major events has only increased over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, I think there was 8 opens. This year there was 16, or it was maybe 3 years ago. Maybe I'm a year off, but that kind of stuff has to be in the equation too. There's way more major events for him to win to get the most event titles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't really like I think there has to be some longevity when you're talking about the GOAT conversation here.
Yeah. So was it total number of world's titles or just total number of titles?
Total number of titles and opens count.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
And now there's more, but opens weren't a thing like they are now 3 years ago or when Matt was at the top of his game.
I mean, look, I think you're making really good points. I'm just going to nod my head and agree. My only position on this is that you can't take the mic and say you're the GOAT.
Yeah.
You can't. That's automatically disqualifies you for GOAT status.
Right.
So I'll wait until next year. If he does
comeback player of the year, I'll give him that title because, man, he was on top for a little bit, then he fucking sucked. Oh, sorry for cussing. But he sucked.
Try to get better at that.
He sucked. And now he's the GOAT. And it's just a lot of back and forth. It's also sparked a couple of other conversations. Me, Sammy, Justin, and Logan were having a brief conversation, and it was, so who's the TCL GOAT? And they were trying to go based off of titles. And I said, well, to me, Eddie Grindersleeve is the TCL GOAT. I think when you're talking about a long period of time, Eddie was one of the best for a long time. And he'd probably still be winning events if he was still playing in it. And either someone tried to say Justin had a lot of success over a 1.5 year period.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you the GOAT.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you the GOAT. I had success.
There was a point where like everybody thought he was going to win a SIG. Like the SIGs were pretty much over before they even started in most people's.
And then Sammy double dipped and that changed everything.
Yeah. Everybody was thinking, well, who's going to get second? If Justin's going to win it. All right. Who's going to get second?
Right. And, Sammy at the peak of his powers, me at the peak of mine, Josh and AJ, Caleb Batson. I mean, everyone had those runs, but it's really, again, what are you doing over a period of time? Not just a short 1.5 years, 2 years.
And how long is that period of time? You want to put a number on it?
I think 5 years is usually cornhole hasn't been around long enough. I would say 5 years. Cornhole's only going to continue to be around. What can you do over a 5-year period?
So these GOAT conversations, and they're popular in basketball.
Yeah.
I always think they're kind of silly because you say of all time and time's still going on.
Yeah, but up to this point. And a lot of people let the recency bias kind of do some stuff. And the GOAT conversation is hard. And what goes into the GOAT conversation, does in basketball, MVPs, Okay, well, in TCL, what about player of the years? Does that go into the conversation? Some people say no. Some people say yes. I think it's part of the conversation.
What about fouls? Like Trey Birchfield does the foot foul all the time. And let's get into that.
And we can get into that. And
I heard that rule's going back. So I was scrolling on social media, just rotting my brain, and I noticed that Ryan Trader, friend of the show, said practicing my new throw, and he was not stepping over the line.
I also heard Adam Hissner say something while Sammy and Trey were playing about, man, a lot of these kids are going to struggle, or a lot of these guys are going to struggle next year with the new rule. And he's talking about crossing the line. So apparently ACL, their new rule will be you cannot cross the line at all.
Yeah. They finally got it right.
Finally got it right. Oh my gosh.
Maybe we're getting a little too excited because
they haven't changed it yet.
We haven't seen it in writing yet.
But oh my gosh, how many, I guess it's right. You can continue to fail and eventually get to the right answer.
You can eventually get to the right answer. I want an apology because those guys ruined cornhole for years with all these kids jumping over the line.
Yeah.
They ruined cornhole for years. How many fights do you think were started because of those idiots and their dumb rule?
Stupid rule.
It was so dumb. My God.
Stupid rule.
They finally got it right.
Stupid rule. And then you have a guy like Trey Ryder trying to explain how it counts in a 3-point shot. You're talking about a moving shot. You're talking about a live action shot. Cornhole is a free throw. Play basketball one time, you'd figure that out, buddy.
You don't think he plays much basketball?
Okay.
You don't think he's like a point guard and in the rec league?
Let's stop. But that was some of the stuff coming out about the rule change crossing the line.
Who wins in a game of basketball between Stacey Moore and Trey Ryder?
Man, Stacey Moore looked rough.
Bro, you want to talk about the...
I want to talk about the button-up he had with the halfway sloppy rolled-up sleeves and just looked completely unprofessional, like he was scared someone was going to fight him or something.
So the Stevie Awards, is that what you're talking about?
Oh, then we get to the Stevie Awards.
Because I watched the Stevie Awards.
I was just talking about him walking around the place during the week.
Just looking like he
rolled out of bed and had 10 drinks and can't get himself together.
A light bit of sweat over the top lip.
Probably.
Yeah, no, I watched the Stevie Awards, and of course I felt disrespected. I'm like, who do you guys think you are? I'm so sick of this, like ACL people thinking they're the cool kids. And even our friends over in Cleveland, Ohio, the Big Ass Cornhole podcast, I feel like they've turned into, they think they're the cool kids. They're going to dump all over ACO, glaze ACL, talk about how ACL is so great because Sean... which is why you're glazing them. But the truth is, ACO deserves some respect. They deserve respect from all the guys over at ACL and for anybody who covers cornhole. That's my opinion, at least.
Well, and, we can't talk about the level of play anymore. The top of the ACO world can compete with the top of the ACL world. Period in the story. Well, I think that's where we're at. You can talk about depth all you want to, but when we're talking about top talent versus top talent, hey, the title of King of Cornhole means something because you're going to have to go through a gauntlet to get there. I honestly thought Levi Haddock was going to go in there and win. He did it. And I think that speaks more about the ACO talent than it does anything else.
It was unfortunate that he had to go up against Caleb Hurt. He made it to the main bracket. So for those who don't know, it is a gauntlet. Like we talk about making ACL Pro being a gauntlet. This is a gauntlet that only ends in one player. And so it's bracket after bracket after bracket after you qualify. And Levi was chugging along doing really well. But he ran into one kid who I forgot his name, who Levi had the win. He had it, dude. It was one of those where he's at 19 or 20 and the other kid just starts chipping away.
Yeah.
And he ends up losing. And then after that, he started in a bracket, but he started in the loser's bracket because he had a loss in his record. And he played Caleb Hurt. By the way, the Hurt brothers are completely legit. Those guys are so good at cornhole. And yeah, Caleb Hurt put it on him. Because they're so good. Everybody around here knows, how good Levi Haddock is. Super good at cornhole. He's won a signature series, right?
Right.
There's something that a lot of players haven't done.
You're not going to have a pro walk in the building and just win the signature series. It's hard.
He won lots of ACO stuff, right? He's won doubles. He's won singles. He's won a bracket in an open ACL event. The dude's really good, but he placed, I think it was 32nd or 16th, I forget, in the ACO King of Cornhole tournament. That tournament's legit. I watched a lot of it,
But to get back on point,
It was really good.
Stevie Awards, ACL took their opportunity to take a shot at somebody. They'll take a shot at really everybody, but ACO in particular, poking fun at the whole family-friendly stuff. And it's, man, I just don't get why the ACO brand is even in their mouths. It's because it's because they think that they're up here when it's like, hey, there's plenty of stuff I can point to when it comes to ACL. The common jab, I guess, towards ACO is payout. Okay, well, Grant Upchurch, pro player, went to spend his money to go to Las Vegas, won the pro shootout on ESPN Las Vegas. Guess how much Grant Upchurch got?
$300.
$300.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
That's what, the same, less than a major for ACO?
That is less than a major. Oh, yeah, you would have won, was it $750?
Whatever it is. The point is, that conversation kind of needs to stop. I mean, everyone has their different levels and their different priorities. And hey, ACL has done a great job with increasing payouts and doing things, but guess who they've done it at the cost of? The consumer. All of you. Everyone's spending all their money on the bags, and all. Now all the directors are being forced to switch over boards. That, hey, go get your elite membership for $300. You won't have a chance to be a pro, but we're going to sell you on that chance. Hey, go buy $100 premium membership. They're eating the consumer alive to produce what they're doing.
And what they're doing is trying to produce stuff to gamble on, right? TV shows and stuff to gamble
on. We're still going to have those under 18 kids involved.
Yeah, right. I'm surprised they haven't turned that narrative around, because they can say, like, yeah, we just don't want minors to be trying to spend all of their time and money and effort becoming a professional cornhole player. We want them to focus on their studies and make the decision when they
No, it's all money.
I know, yeah, but they could say that story,
and they try to make that point in the Stevie Awards too, like, Stacy has plenty of money before all this, yada yada yada. Okay, you think he got to have all that money by being dumb? No,
right?
He didn't do that. So what do you think he's still trying to do? Get more money. It's what he's doing.
Yeah, and he's doing a pretty good job at it. I mean, I think they make most of their money on licensing revenue, but their product, and this is where the league's different, or all the leagues are very different. If you look at the product that they're offering, and ACL is not offering a player experience, they're offering more of a consumer experience, right? Watch it on television. I think they're trying to make their television product their product. Their brand is definitely their product. And I think the gambling stuff, they're trying to make that their product too. But that's their product. And if you look at ACO and TCL, I think they're both more focused on the player experience. They're not trying to, honestly, dupe anybody into believing that they can make a living doing this.
Right. And that's the only thing ACL is their sell point. ESPN, become a pro. But guess what? Now there's only 100 pros. It's only harder to become a pro. And so regionally, what's the benefit of being a part of ACL? What's the benefit of paying all those fees? What's the benefit of buying those extra expensive bags?
Because you're not part of their product, right? Their product being a television show and something to gamble on, you're not part of it. If you're an ordinary player, or if you're a regional director, whatever they call it, that's running tournaments for ACL, you're just not part of the product that they're selling. So I agree. I don't get it. But everybody wants to be on ESPN, and it's working great for them, and they've got tons of support. They've got all the support is what it looks like. They're not going anywhere, but that doesn't mean we can't complain about them.
No, it doesn't mean we can't say anything, because at
voice our opinions.
They got on TV, they did their Stevie Award, and they took their shots. To me, that opens up the playing field, and we should be able to take ours too.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, I like it.
So,
congratulations on the Stevie Awards.
Yes, y'all did a great job.
I didn't really prepare, but there were some production issues with the Stevie Awards. They kind of blasted through everything.
But I guess the last thing on Worlds that I had, the team format, the things that ACL is doing, I do like the team format and getting some of those other guys involved where they can show their personalities. Having the team behind you definitely lets you show your personality more, get excited, because you're no longer playing for yourself, you're playing for the team. So of all the things I watched, that was the most entertaining, seeing Ricky Gee and whoever his partner was, I forget his name, get all excited and beat up on Jamie Graham and whoever his partner was. It was fun to watch. The teams event was fun to watch.
In the one live recording I've seen of ACL was a teams event, and I thought it was super cool with the team behind the players, right? They've lined up back there. I think teams is great. I think ACO and TCL should get in on the team action. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yep, I agree. I do agree. And then there was a little bit of drama that was pretty funny. Some girl drama.
Oh, Lori Dool.
You gotta love the girl drama.
Dude, Lori Dool seemed kind of mean. I don't think that. I think.
Oh yeah, she might seem a little.
She didn't really. I think
So,
it came off as.
You saw what the ESPN stuff was, right?
Okay,
Here's
what I know. I know that. Well, here's what I think I know. Lori Dool was taking way too much time.
Yeah,
and Bubenheim, who I've been a fan of Cheyenne Bubenheim for a while. Quick side note: Cheyenne Bubenheim and Cameron Belvin being brand new moms and kicking ass was so cool.
Yeah, ACL tried to capitalize on that point too.
Well, they should have, because like being new moms and winning, dude, these new moms, for those who don't know, being a new mom is like so hard because that baby just takes everything out of you, literally, figuratively. Like, and these women are winning cornhole tournaments while being new moms. That's incredible. Going back, Lori Dill's taking too much time. Cheyenne's like, did they ask for somebody?
So this happened off screen. This was during I guess their bracket match. It might have been just in singles.
Okay.
But Cheyenne was playing against Lori. Cheyenne went and got a referee before the match because the conversations about Lori taking so much time.
Yeah.
And Lori got called on it a couple times.
So she was taking too much.
Yeah. And Cheyenne won that game. There's a lot of drama involved and a lot of words exchanged because Lori wasn't happy about the ref being called over to begin with. But hey, the rules are there for a reason.
They don't take so much time.
And then you go into the ACL broadcast where now it's Miranda Coy playing against or playing with Lori Dool against Cheyenne Renner and Cameron Belvin.
Yeah.
And you hear in the background 15, 14, 13. They're counting down the shot clock.
Who's they?
At the crowd.
Oh, that's awesome.
Between every single dual shot. Between every single one, they were counting down the shot clock and Lori Dool was having to listen to that as she's throwing. But actually brings me to another point.
Kind of awesome.
Hey, ACL wants to change kind of their vibe of things. Doing that was pretty great.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
Yeah.
Add some excitement to the broadcast. One other thing I did forget that ACL apparently will be enforcing this next season. No earphones on the broadcast. No AirPods, no over-the-head earphones, no earphones at all during the broadcast. And they might enforce that across the board for the tournament altogether.
Okay, I have to ask the question, why? I don't get it.
I think is
it the look?
It might be the look. At the end of the day, I can't point to any other professional sport where you can have AirPods in while you're playing it on a broadcast. I can't.
Oh, interesting.
I can't name one.
Here's one reason that's probably not true. You can, if you want to, and I've done this myself, you can put sounds in your headphones to help you play. So, for example, with rhythm and timing, like the waltz tempo is very good. The 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1 is really good for golf. So I had that in my head, my earphones before, to try to get my pitch motion synchronized. Because the idea was if I could synchronize it, it would be the same every time.
Right.
So I guess you could get an advantage out of wearing headphones.
I don't think it's about the advantage.
That's not it.
It's about the look. It's the same thing with the dress code. Ty Thompson, you're going to have to go get you some shorts, buddy, or something, because you can't wear jeans on the broadcast.
We can't wear shorts either, can he?
He can't wear khakis. He has to wear like some sort of athletic shorts, I believe.
Well, if anybody's into like fashion, oh gosh, I don't want to open up people emailing me about clothes, but I want to dress so much better than what people dress or people wear playing cornhole. I don't understand why people don't take advantage of all of the tennis, the golf clothes that are nice and they still move with your body.
Right.
And I don't have to wear this tent of a jersey. Now that I've lost over 50 pounds, I want to wear something that makes me feel good and look good. So I'm actually looking at finding some decently fitting shirts with maybe a collar, like a nice golf shirt that I can play cornhole in.
Lululemon.
They have golf shirts?
They just got good stuff.
Bro, I like fresh, clean.
Don't ask for help if you're not going to accept my help.
All right, Lululemon. But can I brand it with a big D?
Okay, never mind. Moving off this. So yeah, that was cool. Little shot clock drama going on, and the AirPods thing, that's going to lead to some different things. The dress code thing, still a conversation. We've heard over the past year about players getting fined by ACL based off of them wearing crazy pants or them wearing a certain hat or can't wear open toe shoes, different things. I think it's all, I guess I get it, but it's all a little bit dumb. If someone's wearing black socks with black slides. Leave it alone. It's fine. No one's thinking about that.
Yeah. So can you think of any players that wear headphones that might not perform as well now they have to take the headphones off? And I'm just thinking about like Ryan Trader, probably the number one guy that comes to my mind that's going to struggle finding a new pitch. Frank Modlin is going to have to find a new pitch, right? Because both those guys jump over the line every single time.
Right.
So those two jump to mind. What about the headphone thing? You think anybody? I know that Matt Guy's always wearing headphones, but who cares? That dude has been around for so long. He can figure it out.
He'll figure it out. I think a lot of those guys will figure it out, but it's going to be a little bit of a hurdle, you know, when you have the music to help you get through the nerves.
Hey, Sammy wears headphones a lot of times, but I've also seen him without headphones.
He's fine without them. It's just, but when you aren't great, when you are not throwing great and you're thinking about a little too much, earphones help.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get to this sooner. We're going on for quite a while. It's been a while. So I was going to give an update about ACO Worlds. For everybody that doesn't know, I like ACO. I think ACO is great. I like their product. Their product is a cool player experience. And they also do a lot of cool things to support their players and give their players recognition. I'm a big ACO fan, and I think all the people that hate on ACO are dicks and don't know history. All that being said, so I went to ACO Worlds. So their Worlds was in Owensboro, Kentucky. And it was me, Kevin Meza, and Levi Haddock. We all went up there. And I thought it was really cool. So the venue was awesome. It's a huge building. It was like the Owensboro Convention Center that was brand new. I think they should have their Worlds there all the time. I mean, I was kind of very impressed with the layout and the building just being so nice. Right on the water, right on I think it was the Ohio River. So that was cool. So the venue was very cool. The town was very cool. The food was surprisingly good. I kind of am spoiled, so I like to eat good food. So we went to several nice restaurants, and they were all good.
You also got a movie night.
And we also went to the movies. Well, so that I'll talk about that in a second. So there's generally always cornhole to be played, right? Of course, there's cash games and stuff. But one of the things that they do is pretty much run Switcholios the whole time. Like there's always Switcholios going on upstairs. And they incorporated that into like a bigger tournament. So all the winners of that got to play at the end in a big tournament on the main stage, which was pretty cool. They called that the tailgater. You also had to play with bags that were provided, which that made it a little bit more interesting. So you had to sit down or stand up and throw whatever bags were at the board. So I was throwing different versions of Texans and dudes basically. But that was really cool. Just the fact that there was always some cornhole to be played. Of course, I have to say the ACO environment is fun and family friendly, which apparently is a bad thing. I've heard like people throw shade at ACO because it's family friendly, but it's nice. Like I don't drink anymore and I'm a family guy. So I like the fact that all these parents are there with their kids and like nobody's super drunk and the music isn't super loud. Like I like that. That's why I kind of gravitated towards ACO. The other thing that they're doing is high quality video production. So they're on the main stage. They had a really nice like video setup going on. And they also had like a professional video team that they had hired for the event that got some really good footage that they put together in a couple of promos. You'll probably see more of that throughout this season, but it was just nice because that's another thing that they do to give their players recognition. And that team had like a setup. So if you had made pro that year, or if you had pro status, you got a nice headshot. And it was you guys, if you like cornhole and you're on Facebook, you've seen at least one of them by now. It's their pro jersey with a nice backdrop. And I just think that is such an easy way and a cool way to give your players recognition because now they all have really cool headshots that they clearly appreciate because they use them. And then we talked a little bit about Levi Haddock. You know, he did make the top or the last bracket. He made a good run, did make it all the way. I still have the dream that a Texan wins the King of Cornhole.
He was throwing Texans too.
He was throwing Texans. I know. And
he'll find his rhythm. Levi's only going to get better.
So there's things that, it's funny. I was like, it almost seems like he's in a slump, but he's still throwing gas and beating almost everybody.
Right. And I want you to think about this a little bit. You know, anything worth having takes time. You think it would have been satisfying for you to go out there year one and a Texan be King of Cornhole?
Absolutely.
Oh, I was like,
absolutely.
It being a little bit of a grind would
No. No. That one and done. I could ride off into the sunset. That would have been fantastic.
All right.
But it's okay. That's okay. But what I will say is that King of Cornhole tournament is very, very tough. And what was, particularly interesting is that two brothers made it to the finals, and almost everybody in Cornhole should know who the Hurt brothers are. I don't think they have any plans of going to ACL. I don't think they're going to go to ACL.
No, they weren't at the pro qualifiers.
They weren't there?
Intent. They have no intent. No.
Yeah, they're happy at ACO, and they are very, very good. Like, they are beating really good players, double-digit numbers. And it's because they have every single shot. They throw slow bags. So I didn't really know these guys. I had never seen them play. Well, I mean, I've seen them on video, but it's different when you watch them on the live stream and you see them live, right? So you get to hear all the sounds and see like their parents are there. Like his dad reminded me of a dad like in a dugout.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's chirping.
Yeah.
He's chirping. Like they're in little bags. He's saying something. But they've got all the shots. They play slow bags. I didn't know if they played slow or fast. They play slow. These gustos, I'm not even sure what the carpet is on them, but they're slow. And they hit all the shots. It's not I thought it might be a slide airmail game. It is not. It is a block and roll, cut, flop, all of it.
Right.
Really, really interesting. I'm curious to see what those guys do. But yeah, they're the real deal. And seeing two brothers kind of meet in the finals, and Isaac, the younger brother, is the one that won. So Caleb's the older brother. We've got a what's your grip of him? That's the older brother, and the younger brother is Isaac, and the younger brother won in pretty convincing fashion. Both of them kind of mowed through the bracket, but they met at the end, and it was a pretty good match. The young guy got it.
Yeah, and it's cool, the pictures that come out after that kind of stuff, and seeing the cape and the crown come out.
Yeah,
King of Cornhole, and the way that the ACL does a very good job of following it up with the pictures after the event, with the extra content, talking to the King of Cornhole, the things that he did accomplish. ACO does a good job representing their top pro.
Yep.
I'd probably say they're the best at doing it.
Yeah, and the other thing they do is if you make pro and you go to the Worlds event, they have these feathers that mark every lane. Yeah. On those, they have the name of the pro. Like, so for example, the number 1 pro for season 19 will be number 1 lane for season 20.
Which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, just the different ways that they kind of give their pros some credit's pretty cool. They do a good job of that. But again, I've talked to Frank about this, right, with the big payouts, and he's actually told me they had multiple $20,000 tournaments back to back to back to back, and people stopped showing up because the same guys were winning. So for me, that was like a decision point. It's like, you know what, the big payouts just aren't doing it.
Right. And
he's all about creating a player experience. That's what he wants to do.
I think Frank, I'm not going to say anything I got to say. I'm going to not say anything I got to say. How about that?
Well, they're paying out big.
I do think ACO does a good job with the aura they build around their league. You mentioned it before. You walk into the building and it's just red, white, and blue. Yeah. It's just, this is an ACO event, and they kind of mark their territory at their venue. ACL did a good job about that too. ACL hung some banners throughout the building, kind of with some pictures of highlights or high points during the league. So seeing that kind of stuff, it just helps put the event together and give a certain environment. So I'd say ACO is the best at that.
Yeah, they are. I think they're pretty good at it. So lost my list. What else did I want to say? There was one more thing about these guys. Oh, they have changed. Okay. There's a lot of misinformation, confusion out there. So I'm not going to say too much about it because I'm not an expert. I think I know what they're doing, but I'm not an expert. But ACO is introducing like a class-based tier rank system. So if you want to, you can go to a major and enter like a tier 2 or a tier 3. So you don't have to play against all the best players.
Right.
High level. I mean, you will in rounders, actually. If I understand it correctly, in rounders, everybody plays everybody just to establish a record. But then in the main bracket, when you're playing for trophies, you can play in different divisions. And it's based on PPR. And they're introducing that. So we'll see what people think of that. Because again, they're all about just trying to create new player experiences. And if you don't want to play at the top level with like the Hurt Bros, who are going to beat me every single time, maybe I want to drop down a tier so I don't have to play those guys.
How'd skins go? They still running with that?
Oh yeah, they still got skins. I'm waiting for Scorholio to add it. They haven't added it yet. But they did have a skins tournament, and Hurt Brother did not win it. I'm forgetting the name of the guy who did. Well, the cool thing about skins that people don't realize with the ACO is that whatever, let's say the skins are $100 and you win one round, you get that $100. And then if you lose the match, you still get the $100. So there's guys that are playing the skins that are losing, but you still make money, right? It's if you win the skin, you get to keep it. So we'll see. I think Levi's a pro. He hasn't been published as a pro yet, so I'm not 100% certain about that. But I think he met the qualifications, but they have not listed him as a pro. But he'll get to play. There's going to be 2 pro events that are close to us this year. I don't know if they've announced them, so I'm not going to say what they are. But he'll be able to jump into 2 of those skin matches, and that's going to be fun to watch.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. We've had some brief conversation about it, but with Chase and Ty becoming ACL pros and Levi with the ACO stuff, hey, I got to play some team events with Levi over there in ACL. Him and I are good partners. I think we're going to play Worlds next year together in ACL. Me and him are going to go to some ACO events, and we're going to do our thing. And hopefully this time around, I can actually show up for singles in some of those ACO events.
You played good. You just
good singles event here. Bro, Jacob Wadley was just on fire. He took out like 6 of us. It was like, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Blame the bags, bro.
Well, now that we got some more broken in bags here, I'm excited about it.
I'm also making those a little bit different now, so I think they're just a little bit hole friendlier.
Oh, yeah?
Just a little bit.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Less thread. That's what I do. And honestly, everybody, if you're a bag maker, I've got a free tip.
No.
Keep it to myself.
No. I'm not done helping people.
I know. All right, man. So we've been talking forever. Let's give quick updates about the future.
All right.
So AJ's future. We got this coming Saturday. Do you know the date?
24th.
The 24th of August. We're going to have the Texas Showdown finale.
Yep.
Going to be awesome. And we're going to do, you want to explain how that's going to work?
It's cool. Going to be from top. It's going to be everyone signed up. We're here. SPR is going to be the draft order.
Okay.
So we'll set the draft order, and then the bottom half of the SPRs will be the players that are drafted. We're not shuffling the top. It's, hey, if you got the top SPR, you got the first pick.
Boom.
You believe in SPR? All right, we're going to believe in it. Yep. So we're excited. I am excited to see the draft. It doesn't matter how we kind of shake it out. We're there. Let's just say there's 80 players. That 39th player that has to draft, and it's going to get the bottom player. Hey, it's just luck of the draw on that. No matter what, there's some luck of the draw element in there. But there's going to be double elimination, and you're going to be able to call out your opponent. So once we set the teams, I'll shuffle the list. First team comes up. Hey, I want to go play that person. That's who you go play.
Yes.
And it's going to be so first round, everybody plays everybody. Second round, the 1-0 teams play against the 1-0 teams. The 0-1 teams play the 0-1 teams. Once you lose 2 games, you're out.
I believe that's called a Swiss.
Well, I'm down.
With the 1-0s playing the 1-0s. Also, calling out teams, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that we're doing that.
So a lot of this...
You get to pick your opponent.
Right. So a lot of this is going to be happening on my computer in Excel. Scoreholio doesn't really have this kind of process set up, but that's fine. We're going to run with it, do it. Excited to see how it kind of works. And then we're going to have...
The payouts are huge.
Payouts are great. I mean, they're really good. We planned that out. Payouts are there. Hey, fist bump to ourselves. 0 sponsors and got this done.
Yes.
0 sponsors.
Let's go.
We just did it. Got it done.
Yes, sir.
The big payout here towards the end. Excited to see everybody that comes out. We got some, I think Raymond brought us some king seats.
King seats and rings.
Rings? Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a cool little event. We're gonna obviously have the live feed going.
Oh, yeah. Tune in.
Hype stuff. I believe our cameraman's gonna be there. He's gonna be doing his thing. Are you going to be there?
Create some?
No, you're the cameraman.
Oh, I'll be here in the morning. I got to dip out.
Oh, no. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm a sober family man that has other...
Why am I not surprised?
I know. I'm going to have to leave like around 6, I think.
Oh, why am I not surprised?
But it starts at noon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be here getting all kinds of content and making sure the stream is set up and working right.
Yep. We'll be good to go. You can give us a Big D update?
Big D update. So yes, Big D's been shut down for like 2 months. And that's pretty much because I've been on vacation. And now it's too hot to work in the shop. So, but there's renovations coming along, big changes with Big D. I'm offloading as much of the manufacturing that I can. And that's going to let me focus on bag design, digital content, and the stuff that I enjoy a lot more. I kind of, I started that bag company so I could start making stuff with my hands because it had been so long since I was making something. But now I've got the processes all dialed in and figured out, and I'm going to...
It's boring now.
Yes, I'm going to offload as much of the work as I can and work on some of the other stuff. So yeah, Big D's still around. I've been, every day I get requests like when are bags going to be back in stock. Thank you for those requests. I'm glad people are still interested. And we'll see if people are still interested in buying my bags when they finally get back online. But I'm hoping that I've got some inventory updates next week. Is the plan. I've been telling people middle of August, which didn't come true. Now I'm telling people end of August. But there'll be some bags on the site here pretty soon. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to try to play a little bit. I'm going to be playing Big D sponsoring Jonathan Zarzinski as a player.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm covering my hotel.
We got some work to do.
I know. Hey, I won.
You did, but we got some work to do.
It's mental. I'm going to try to meditate while playing cornhole. That's my goal. Okay. All right. So on AJ's, we got the thing here. And then Monday, Tuesdays, and we're going to try to get some Saturdays going.
Yep.
But AJ's Sports is going to be updating the live stream. There's, potentially 2 lanes we're going to have. Cameras all set up. So AJ's has more coming. And then you want to give a center update?
Yeah. So for center cornhole, things are definitely changing for this season. It's going to be a one-man show now. It's going to be on my shoulders.
That's a big update. I didn't know we were doing that.
It's going to be on my shoulders.
You got help? No, you don't need any help.
We're going to do everything I can do. And we're going to see how much help I may or may not need. But, we're getting things in order, trying to still stay at a high level and give back to the players as much as we can, where we can, and still be able to do those things throughout the year. Number one thing I'm looking forward to is our toy drive. Once we hit December, that should be here at AJ Sports. That's like my number one. Want to do big things there, give back where I can. We'll be doing the center cornhole editions this year. Everybody, I have a lot of the same crew. There's going to be a couple of new guys popping up as well. We're working on some of that stuff right now with different designers. We have a new standard look going into this season, which I'm excited about. We're going to have some new merch coming out. We're grinding over here, but we're trying to catch up too. So looking forward to this next season. See what happens.
All right, cool, man. Well, that's the longest episode I think ever.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't even get into everything, I guess. So, hey, next time.
We meandered, but we had a little bit of a timeline.
I think we did all right,
I think we said at least, I said a couple of things that should make some people mad.
Yeah, I was kind of
I'll be looking in my instant messages.
I feel like you do that to me on purpose. You throw me a couple curveballs.
Yeah,
we hit record, and just to see what happens. And
got to keep it.
I know your game. I know your game.
Yeah.
And now that I know your game, I got you.
Yeah. All right.
But all right, looking forward to it. We're gonna get on here and get on the live stream.
Yeah, I gotta set this live stream up.
Yep. Appreciate everybody. Remember, it's just a game.